YouTube, it's Nikki from Nikki Lilly. So today I'm going to be doing a Q&A, and I've not done a Q&A for ages, so I'm super excited to be doing one today. But I also realised I've not really done a makeup video for ages, so I thought why not combine them and do a makeup tutorial slash Q&A slash just life update really. So I've got all my makeup laid out in front of me, and I think I want to do a colourful look because I've not done a colourful look on the channel for a while, so I'm going to be doing that. And if you would like to take part in future Q&As and asking me questions in the future that could come up in one of these videos, then make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I will leave my handles here. But yeah, without further ado, let's get on to answering your questions and doing my makeup. So I have pinned up my fringe so that it is out of the way, and now I'm just going to moisturise my skin and then get into the questions and get into playing with some makeup. So I have quite big pores on my nose and like in this area, so the two products that I've been using to counteract my huge pores are the Benefit Professional Pearl Primer. I actually prefer this to the original. I actually think it does a better job, and it's got a little bit less of a silicone-y feeling to it. And it's got this slight pearlescent sheen to it when you apply it, so it just gives your skin a little glow without looking glittery or overly glowy, so I really like that. And then I've been mixing that with the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer, which is great. It's a little bit thicker, so they work perfectly together. And then with those two, I've been using the Barry M Unicorn Primer Drops. I really like these. I've just been dropping a couple of drops of this just onto my cheekbone and a little bit on my forehead, basically where you'd usually put your highlighter. And even though I still do use highlighter, this is just really nice for like a glow from within kind of look to your skin underneath your foundation. So I'm going to start off by using the Pore products and just popping them on the back of my hand, mixing them together and pushing the product into my pores to fill them. Okay, so the first question I have that a lot of you guys were asking is, what's your favourite Netflix show? So, I love Netflix. I watch it more than TV. I think loads of people do these days. At the moment, I've been watching Queer Eye a lot. I love Queer Eye. I've been rewatching Pretty Little Liars and Gossip Girl. I love rewatching those two series because I just find that each time I watch them, I always just see different things in each episode, and things that I didn't notice when I first watched it or when I watched it the second time. I've watched it a lot. I've watched both series so many times. I just love it. You know when you just don't watch a series for ages and then you watch it again and you're like, oh, I forgot this happened. And yeah, I love watching them again. I love Shark Tank. I think that's like one of my guilty pleasures. I love watching that like before I go to bed. It's just such like an easy watch, so I love watching that. Just so many things. I just love putting anything on that's on Netflix and just seeing what it's like. I'm going to pretend to be one of those Instagram makeup people that just drop it on the skin. This is a bit thicker than what the people on Instagram usually use, but yeah, let's just pretend. So yeah, I usually just put that on the sides of my cheeks first and just dab that in, and it literally just seeps in so quickly. I love this. And it's really cheap as well. I think it was like £7 and it's lasted me ages. So I just dab that into the sides and it just gives me this really nice glow. And then sometimes I'll just do it in the centre of my forehead to just, because I like my skin to be quite matte because I get quite oily. It's just nice to have something quite hydrating underneath that's going to give it a glow even if I mattify my skin a lot. So primer done. So now it's time to use my most favourite colour corrector ever. It's the LA Girl Pro Conceal Concealer but in green, and this is just amazing because it has a little brush, so it makes applying it to where you want it so much easier and a lot more precise. So I love that. So I'm just going to apply that to where I have some redness and things that just need a little bit more colour correcting before I apply concealer. So a lot of you guys were asking how I stay so positive, and I think a lot of you guys think that I'm positive 100% of the time, and that's really not the case. I think, you know, we all have our bad days, me included, and sometimes I'll have a bad period where maybe my mental health isn't great or my physical health because of my condition isn't great. And in those periods, obviously, I'm not as positive, and sometimes I'm not positive at all. But I think what people forget is that everyone has bad days. Everyone has bad days where they don't feel their best mentally or physically. Once I got diagnosed with my condition, I just realised that I'd rather live my life to the fullest and not let my condition and my restrictions in my life define me. And I think it's really important to just do the best that you can in your life. Just basically make the most of your life. I think that's something that I definitely realised the importance of as I got older, and you know, my condition developed and things like that. Time for concealer. The two concealers that I've been using at the moment are the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. I love using this as a base and primer for eyeshadow on my eyelids. It covers up everything. It isn't thick or streaky, so I love using that on my eyelids. And then underneath my eyes, I love using the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. I am the shade C2, and in the Bye Bye Under Eye, I am 10.5. But yeah, this is my favourite concealer combo at the moment. I always like to change around my concealers depending on how my skin is, and at the moment these two have been working really well for me. A lot of you guys have been asking me how I'm finding year 11 and how to deal with and how I cope with exam stress basically, and if I'm anxious and things like that basically, and what GCSEs I took. So I'm just basically going to be covering that all now. I always get nervous going back to school after such a long time, after summer, because I'm just one of those people that get anxious for everything, and that is something that I do get anxious for, because you've not seen a lot of people for such a long time, and it's not an environment that you've been in for such a long time, and so it can be very scary really, and I think everyone's really scared to go back to school after a long period, and I think a lot of people this year for year 11 are really worried about exams and things like that. And you know, at the end of year 10 you have like mock exams, and I think a lot of people kind of got a wake-up call from those mock exams of like how hard and how stressful GCSEs are going to be. So I chose for my GCSEs obviously the compulsory ones, which are English, all the sciences, maths, and then with that I also am doing business studies, food tech and history. I dropped a language because I missed quite a lot of school down to my health, and so my school and me decided that it would be best if in that period where my peers have a language lesson, that I have a study period where I can catch up on any work that I need to at school, which is great. So that's been super helpful for me. I'm a perfectionist, so I get very anxious about exams. I think something that I need to do that I need to stop doing is comparing my grades and how well I do and things like that to other people that have been at school 100% of the time and don't have the same life problems to deal with. And obviously everyone has problems that they deal with at home or in school or in their head and things like that, but I think I need to realise that like I wasn't at school for such a long period of time in primary school and in secondary school, and I missed like half of year 10 because I was really not very well, and year 9, and so I think I need to realise that my circumstances are different to someone that's getting straight A's in every single subject, and then there's me getting, you know, a C here, a B here, a 5 here, you know, things like that. But all you can do is try your best, and what will be will be. If I don't do as well as I would have hoped in my GCSEs, then at least I know that I tried my best, and I think that's really important. I wouldn't want to look back and regret and think, oh, I could have done this more, oh, I could have done this more. I want to be able to try and do the best that I can, so that if I don't do the best in my GCSEs, I know that I did all that I could, and that's how it is really. So I think it's just really important to be a realist and put everything into perspective. And GCSEs aren't the be all and end all, you know, there's so much more to life after GCSEs. It can feel like school is your whole life, and at the moment it literally feels like for your whole of your childhood you're in school, which you are, but you know, you've got so much more of your life that you're not going to have as much stress of, you know, education and things like that. And so I think it's really important to look forward and not get too down about how your life is currently with, you know, the stress of exams and other pressures outside your life and outside school. So for foundations at the moment, I have been using the Benefit Hello Happy Flawless Brightening Foundation. I really like this. It's, I say maybe a medium coverage, but it's just my perfect colour. It applies beautifully and it actually lasts quite a long time, so I've really been enjoying that. And then with that, I've been mixing the IT Cosmetics CC cream. I love this. I've used it so many times, raved about it in so many videos, and I really enjoyed this in summer when I just wanted like a your skin but better look to my skin. So this was perfect, and I'm just in the shade Light, and it's got a pump, so that's great as well. So yeah, I've just been mixing these two together and it's just been gorgeous on my skin. It has a little glow to it as well, so Yeah, I love this combo. So the next question that you guys were asking me a lot is, how am I within myself at the moment? How is my health? How is my mental health? Just how am I, basically? A life update, which I've not done in a while. So I have my good days and my bad days. My health has been a bit of a roller coaster this year. I've had times where I've really not been very well, and I've had times where I've luckily had better health and been able to do more opportunities, go to school more, etc, etc, and live more of the average teenager normal life. At the moment, I've had quite a few bad days with my mental health. I think that's a bit of, you know, school stress, being really tired. My health has been okay. The problem with an AVM is that it is so unpredictable, so you never know, like, you never know one day from the next. You literally never know 1 hour from the next, and that is literally how life is, and that's kind of how I live my life, which isn't the greatest because I'm someone that loves planning out my life and loves knowing what comes next. I'm not the most spontaneous person. I think all of my family and friends would agree with that. I do like a routine, and unfortunately it's quite hard to have that when you have like an AVM or any unpredictable medical condition. So that's been a bit tricky. But, you know, I'm busy at the moment. I'm going to school every day at the moment. I don't know, I'm just trying to live in the moment and just make the most out of the life that I have at the moment. This is a good question. If you could have one superpower, what would it be? I'm using my brush like it's a magic wand. Alakazam. Expelliarmus. If I could have one superpower, what would it be? Oh yeah, by the way guys, I'm just going to put on some powder. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Best powder ever, so finely milled. It's just amazing. Oh, if I could have one superpower, you know, this is a question that I actually discuss with my friends and family a lot because, like, if you had a superpower, how cool would that be? What would you have? I think I'd either like to be a mind reader, although I think that couldn't work in your favour sometimes, because what if someone didn't like you and in their head they're like, oh, I don't like this person? You'd feel so awkward. And, you know, obviously people's inner thoughts you don't want to intrude because everyone should be allowed to have their own private inner thoughts. So I do think that would be a cool one. Maybe like for a day. Maybe if you liked your crush and you wanted to know if they liked you, I feel like that would be such a good one because boys are so hard to read. So I feel like that would be a really good one if you like had someone that was your crush, maybe a girl or a boy or anyone that you wanted to know if they felt the same way, if your feelings were reciprocated. So maybe that would be really good for that. But I think other than that, oh, what would I like to be? I mean, I think teleportation is a really cool one. You know, you could literally go to Hawaii like in a second. I think that would be so cool because I really want to go to Hawaii and the flight is so long and the jet lag would be insane. So if you could have teleportation, that would be incredible. So I think long-term teleportation so that you're never late and you could go anywhere that you want. This is a good one. What is your favourite part about being a YouTuber and what is your least favourite part about being a YouTuber? I'm going to do bronzer now, by the way. The bronzers I'm using are the Benefit Hoola bronzer, which is quite a warm tone bronzer, mixed with the Soap & Glory Solar Powder, which is kind of a more cool tone bronzer. So I like mixing them together. And then the brush I'm going to be using is this super cool brush from Beauty Bay. It's their Bake Off brush. And this is great for just putting your product where it needs to go. So I'm just going to use that. Oh, what is the best part about being a YouTuber? The best part is probably interacting with you guys. I love meeting you guys whenever I'm out and about with my family or friends. Whenever you come up to me, honestly, it makes my day so much. Another question was, how are you so active with your viewers and stuff? I think it's so important to be supportive of what they're doing and thank them because without you I literally wouldn't be where I am today. Yeah, and I think it's really important to tell your viewers how much you appreciate them and make them aware of that because literally you are where you are because of them and I am where I am because of you guys. And you guys have helped me so much with, bad days, and you have been so supportive when I've not been very well, and if I've not been able to post a video, you completely understand, and it's been really nice to not have that pressure because I know how understanding you guys are, and I just have the best group of viewers on the internet, honestly. No one else has as good of viewers as you guys, so yeah, I'm very, very lucky. Do you know what? I really don't think there is a worse part. Maybe just the pressure of having to post. I mean, even though I don't really have that pressure, sometimes, I'll have to do a video because I've not posted the last 2 weeks, and sometimes you're not really in the mood. So sometimes maybe the pressure of posting on not only YouTube, but Instagram and things like that. I wouldn't say the pressure to be perfect because I never want to convey that because I'm totally not. Obviously, the hate comments aren't the best, but I just have learnt to brush them off now. They more got to me when I was younger, but they've definitely grown me as a person. Right, now time for blusher. I'm going to be using my fave blush at the moment. This is the Benefit Mineral Blush in Flower Child. It's just such a pretty peachy pink, but it's not too out there, so it's really nice to build up on your cheeks and just gives your cheeks a lovely flush. What has been your worst baking disaster? Girl, I've had a lot of them. Probably, what would be a good one? Maybe when I was prepping for Junior Bake Off, I was trying to practice my ombre cake so many times. That is probably the cake that I practiced like the most out of every showstopper that I did. I probably did that about 8 times, and it was only on like maybe the 7th time that I got it to where I kind of wanted it to be, but it still needed tweaks and amendments. So I'd probably say when I put the cake in the fridge to like set the buttercream, and the cake was still hot, but I was fighting against time because I wanted to do it in time conditions so that it was kind of like Bake Off, and the whole like entire cake literally slid in different directions. So there was like one sponge that was that way, there was one sponge that was that way, there was literally one sponge that was literally broken. And basically, because the cake was hot and the fridge wasn't like, I should have probably put it in the freezer in hindsight, but we literally had no room in the freezer. So I put it in the fridge, and because the cake was still like really hot and the icing wasn't like really cold, the cakes literally slid everywhere and the icing was dripping out and like onto the fridge. Like, oh my god, it was awful. And I remember opening the fridge like, oh, okay, time to decorate the cake, and I was literally like, oh my god, literally it was awful. I was in such a panic. Luckily nothing like that happened on actual Junior Bake Off while I was on there, but no, it was the worst experience. And probably something when I've like forgotten to put something in a cake. Like I've definitely forgotten to put like eggs in a cake before and not realised, and flour, and put too much sugar in, or once I actually put in salt instead of sugar, which was not great, and I didn't even realise till I tried a bit of the crust and I was like, this tastes so salty, what did I do? And then I realised like I had a eureka moment and I was like, oh my god, I used salt instead of sugar. I don't even know how I did that. I must have just been having a bad day and just was not on it basically. But yeah, that was really, oh my god, that was not my proudest moment. It was awful. Okay, for highlighter, I'm going to be using the Burberry Rose Gold Fresh Glow highlighter. And I'm going to be using the Beauty Bay Fancy That brush, which is a really nice big old fan brush. So I'm just going to be applying that to my cheekbones, down my nose, all of that good stuff. What is the next question? Oh my gosh, and also look at the pattern engraved into the highlighter. Beautiful. I literally didn't touch this for months after I bought it because it was stunning. It's so pretty that I didn't want to touch it, but you know, it's such a nice highlighter that I was like, Nikki, you need to use it. And this is a really nice brush to just build up the highlighter as well and get it in right where you want it. As you can see, this highlight is gorgeous, and this brush is so perfect at applying it and building it up. So now it's time for les brows, and at the moment I've not really been using a pencil or like a powder. I've just been using Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 3.5 and just brushing it through. It's the easiest thing, and my eyebrows and eyeshadow are probably my longest things that I do when I do my makeup. So when I use this, it just makes it so much easier, and I literally just brush it through. Oh, my hair is like getting caught everywhere. Just brush it through, and my eyebrows are literally full. And then sometimes I'll cut my eyebrows, and sometimes I won't. But yeah, it just makes them look so full and so nice and natural and fluffy. So I love this. Okay, time for eyes. So I think I want to do something colourful. So I have whipped out the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. This is literally my absolute fave Bay product when it comes to colourful eye looks that I want pigment and I want to blend beautifully. This is just incredible. It was totally worth the money, and there are so many amazing colours in here. It's literally like rainbow but better, so I love that. And the mirror is huge. We love a huge mirror. So, oh my gosh, did I just get my nail in one of the colours? I did. Why do I always do that? Cons of having long nails. So I think I want to play around with the blue and the pinky peach, and maybe a little bit of this colour here, which is like a yellowy pearlescent shimmer. And maybe a little bit of purple. I literally haven't planned anything, but I think that's sometimes quite fun, being spontaneous. That's where I am spontaneous when it comes to eye looks. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so I think I'm going to start off by laying down this colour, Good Morning, which is like a peachy pink all over my eye. And the next question was, how did I get into makeup and how am I so good at makeup? So I got into makeup when I was probably about 10. I've loved makeup ever since I was like 8 years old. I always watched my sister put it on, and I loved how there was a transformation in not yourself but your confidence. I really found that magical, how putting on some makeup could really enhance someone's confidence and transform it, and I loved that because I thought that was an amazing thing and so powerful and magical. Makeup kind of became my saviour in a way that it helped me with my confidence, and I just got more into it as I was at home more. I would steal some of my sister's makeup and play around with it and claim that it was mine in videos. The more I was at home, the more I did it and the more I experimented and the better I got. I'm going to go over Good Morning with Snack, which is this peachy pink. It's gorgeous. And I'm just going to take a flat brush and press that onto my lid. It's so pigmented. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, it's so pretty. And I'm just going to build that up. I think every time I do a Q&A, I always get asked if I have a boyfriend. I think you guys just love the juicy goss and always want to know if I have a boyfriend. I don't have a boyfriend. I think this year I wouldn't want a boyfriend because I'm going to be so busy that I've not got time for a boyfriend, and I think that I need to learn to love myself fully before I could ever have a boyfriend. It's like RuPaul says in RuPaul's Drag Race, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? That was the worst American accent, but that's what he says. And so I think I'm trying to really work on self-love this year and just doing stuff for me and working on myself and my confidence, because I feel like if I'm not confident within myself and within who I am, then I don't think I could ever be confident in a relationship. And I'm still young, like I'm 15, like I've got so much time to get a partner and stuff like that. And so yeah, I'm not going to be getting a boyfriend anytime soon. Obviously if one comes along, maybe. I have realised that I'm enough, but I think I need to, you know, really work on believing that I'm enough and things like that, and just working on me basically. So yeah, not got a boyfriend and not getting one anytime soon. I'll tell you that. Okay, so now I'm going to mix Brain Freeze, which is this Bleu baby blue, and put that in my crease. So I've just added a little bit more pink to the centre of my eyes. I added a little bit of cotton candy just to the ends to make it a little bit more of a brighter, darker pink. And I'm actually really liking it. It's quite candy floss vibes, I think. So what I'm going to do now is just get a teeny tiny brush and add a little bit of Jawbreaker to the corner of my eyes to just make the look pop a little bit more. And then we'll add some mascara and we'll be done. Okay, so for mascara, I'm going to be using the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. I love this. It's literally the best mascara and it's not clumpy. So it's my go-to. It can smudge a little bit under the eyes because it's not waterproof, but it's just an amazing all-round mascara aside from that. So I'm just gonna wiggle my lashes. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I just had an idea. Maybe I'll add a tiny bit of purple to the lid, just here. Well, that looks quite cute. So what I've done is just done, where the blue is, just added a little bit of purple, and it looks really cool actually. It looks a bit rainbowy. Oh, I am liking that. Okay, so finally for lips, I'm going to be doing quite a neutral combo. I'm going to be putting on the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Sunny Side. And then on top, I'm going to be using the NYX Ultra Gloss Lip in Fairy Floss. So first, I'm going to be putting on the liquid lipstick. When did you get your period, and also period advice? So I'm going to put on the lip gloss just all over my lips while I answer this. So I started my period when I was late 13, I'd say. I was, yeah, late 13 that I started my period. And that's kind of like, I'd say, mid-time that you can start your period. I think it was late 13, verging on 14. And I always felt like someone that was quite a late bloomer when, like, a lot of my friends had quite big boobs, had started their period. You know, a lot of people start their period later. You know, I know people that have started their period at 17. I know people that have started their period still in primary school. And so, you know, you can start your period at all kinds of ages, and it's fine. It's normal. You're not unordinary. You're not strange for starting your period early or late. Unfortunately, if you start it early, it is very annoying. However, everyone that's a girl obviously goes through a period, and it's the worst thing. You know, it's about a week that you feel awful and are not in a good mood and have cramps all over. But once that week is over, you can go back to normal life. And so it's like literally you start your period and you're like, oh, okay, I can get through this week. I've got through the week, and then it just comes again every single month, and it's just the worst thing because you feel like you've had no time without it. When you're on your period, things that work for me is obviously a hot water bottle is amazing. I like putting one here and on my back. I love a warm drink like a herbal tea. Obviously eating a bit of chocolate is always nice. Eating, you know, your comfort foods. Watching a good film. I love a hot bath. Just a lot of warm things, I think. Always carry some sanitary pads with you, or tampons, or whatever you use on your period, because you never know when you could start. So if you're not on your period, always carry something. I take some in my school bag. I take some in my bag if I'm not at school. I just always have some on me. Obviously, getting a period tracker app is very helpful to kind of alert you on when you're about to start. But I think you also kind of know because your mood dips, I think. But yeah, period tracker apps are great to help you get an idea or an estimation of when you're going to start. Everyone starts at different ages. You're not unusual to have small boobs, or have not started your period yet, or not have a curvy figure and things like that. Everyone's different and everyone's unique, and you're just unique within yourself to someone else. So never compare yourself to anyone else when it comes to development and things like that. Everyone's different and you will develop just slower. And yeah, that's it really. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm digging this look. I really like it. When I started it off, I was like, oh my god, where is this going? I was really nervous that it was going to be awful, but I really like it. It's quite simplistic. It's bright, but it's simplistic. But I do like it. I feel like a fairy. I feel like a fairy, like a candy floss fairy, like a candy fairy. But yeah, I really like it. If you like this video and would like to do more Q&A, would like me to do more Q&A stuff and would like to be involved in them, again, make sure to follow my Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, that's it really, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you liked it. If you like, I would really appreciate that. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.